Welcome to Guru Trader video for Friday, May the 21st, 2010. Here's the 5 market movers that we're following today. 2 new symbols, 3 follow-ups. On the TSX Venture, mentioning CNE again, Canacol Energy Limited, 79, up 5. On the TSX, first time mentioning ML, Mercator Minerals Limited, 149, up 18. On the NASDAQ, following up again on HAUP, Hauppauge Digital Inc., 351, up 22. And on the AMEX, first time mentioning GBG, Great Basin Gold Limited, Class A, 169, up 7 cents. And lastly, also on the AMEX, following up again on RPC Radient Pharmaceuticals, $1.12, up 11. Let's take a closer look at these stocks. Haven't put out a video since Tuesday, the 18th. Markets, have basically been a lot of pages of red arrows lately, nothing really to comment on. The S&P 500, which everyone watches, we actually tend to prefer to watch the Dow, and 10,100 or 10,096 to be more precise, I think, is the 200-day moving average that we're waiting to see whether it's going to close above or below that as an indication of the next direction, and whether we're going to have a 5-point leg up or down from here. Anyway, there's still a few stocks that are popping up here on volume or on news that we're keeping an eye on, so we'll mention a few of them. On the TSX Venture, CNE Canacol Energy Limited, 79, up a nickel. Almost 12 million shares traded. That's why we're mentioning them. It's a $300 million company. Their 52-week high was 84 cents, which did on April the 12th. Had a nice stair-stepping chart over the last year from 13.5 cents on May 21st of last year. They're actually one of our top 30 small caps, which you'll find on here. We added them on June the 12th last year at 18 cents. So anyway, now they're trading at around 79. They're focused mainly in Guyana, Brazil, and Colombia. And they just, a lot of the support that they're having right here, I'm wondering if it relates mainly to this financing that they're going through. On May the 5th, they announced a bought deal of 50 million, and then a few days later, on the 13th, they announced an over allotment of another 10 million shares, $7.5 million. So the total they're raising is 57.5 million shares at a price of 75%, I believe. Yeah, 57,500,000 at 75%. So they're going to be picking up some more claims in Colombia, paying off some debt. And so anyway, we still like the play. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it and see once they clear all this churn related to that financing. Maybe we'll take a run through that 84 cents, hopefully, when this market gains some support. Similarly, Mercator, actually not similarly, Mercator is also on our top 30 small caps. If you look right here, March the 30th, we added them last year at 55 cents, so they're now around $1.50. Mercator, they're mainly in Mexico, copper, molybdenum, silver production. Now they reported on the 17th their first quarter results, and they provided an update. They're still showing a loss, 11.5 million, but their revenues, and a lot of that's interest. They break it down as far as the interest payments and etc. They generated revenues of almost $24 million, which is a 376% increase over the $6 million they did last year. So I thought that was positive. The stock's been cut in half over the last year. If you look at their 5-year chart, you see this one was well over $10 a few years ago and is sold off. This is when we added them, and they've had has a nice constructive chart since then. Now it's pulled back, and you really don't want to see it go below these support lines. You really need a bigger chart than this to do that, but I still think there's a bull market there if you look at that chart, and if this market turns around and gold starts going back up again, or the commodities in general, I should say. This Mineral Park mine is where their main production is, or anyway, 5.4 million pounds of copper. They mentioned in the first quarter 65,000 ounces of silver, 777,000 pounds of cathode copper, which I think is a byproduct of copper production, and the moly, which is 638,000 pounds of molybdenum. So that's what they're mainly focused on, is that mine that they have, I believe, in Mexico. Yeah, they brought this mill into production. They put it together in less than 2 years, and they're dedicated to maximizing profits at the Mineral Park mine and development of the El Pilar copper project in Mexico. So anyway, that's a turnaround situation. Canacol is one that's on momentum, and two interesting plays to keep an eye on. And moving on the NASDAQ, following up on HAUP, Hauppauge Digital Inc. 351 up 22, 6% move, 3.5 million shares traded, 35 million market cap. 52-week high was 485, which did on May 14th, right here. The low was on November 4th at 60 cents, right here, and it's kind of has done nothing over last year, and then had this big run up. The only news release that I can see to explain it was on May 13th, and there's really no news before that. Hauppauge launches live TV support for the iPad and iPhone. Initially, this thing went from $1 to $4. Did not mention. I thought this is kind of flaky. But looking at their financial statements, which they put out a couple days ago, this company seems more substantial than I initially thought. They announced their fiscal 2010 second quarter and 6-month results. They're actually showing almost $14 million in net sales, which is up from $12.7 million the previous year. They're still incurring a loss, it shows. But anyway, nevertheless, if you look down to the about, they talk about their offices. They have offices all over the world, it seems. Luxembourg, Ireland, Singapore, sales offices in Germany, London, Paris, Netherlands, Sweden, Italy, Spain, Singapore, Taiwan, California, etc. So anyway, we'll keep watching that one. We first mentioned that one, Hauppauge, on May 18th at 303. So anyway, moving on the AMEX, this first time mentioning GBG, Great Basin Gold Limited, 169 up 7, 2.9 million shares traded. Has a pretty constructive chart over the last year. Sold down a little bit with everything, which is kind of strange with all the gold near at all-time highs, but it's still May, and they had a great run over the winter, so you might think they'd be at their highs too, but a lot of these juniors and mid-tier producers are not. They're actually selling off this time of year. But on today, we thought this was worth mentioning because they announced they executed a $47 million credit facility, which let me see, in their words, how they explain it. We're delighted with the speed with which this low-cost and flexible facility was put in place with Credit Suisse, provided the last needed piece to our capital structure, will facilitate funding the final costs related to their Burnstone gold mine, starting up in the upcoming weeks. So that's interesting. And lastly, on the AMEX, RPC Radient Pharmaceuticals. This is our third post on this one since May the 4th at $1.12, and I think we mentioned them one other time at $1.35. This one spiked up from well under 50 cents at the beginning of April to over $2. Hit a high of $2.59 on April the 12th. The low is 20 cents on December 29th. Chart doesn't show it going before October of last year. Now, what do they make? All I can find is they talk about this OncoSure in vitro diagnostic cancer test and something to do with India. So read those releases. I'm just following it on the technicals, on the volume. It's a $32 million company. Seems to support well at $1. I don't know if I'd want to own it below $1, but we're watching it, and it has these spikes. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. It's active in an otherwise down market. So anyway, that's about it for today. Do your homework, trade safely. We'll talk with you on Monday. Guru Trader videos and tweets are daily snapshots of 5 to 7 very active small and microcap stocks from all North American stock exchanges. We simply track stocks that are trading up significantly on news or making new highs on very high volume without any further consideration of company fundamentals. The point is to save time by focusing on only those stocks that are moving right now. Guru Trader symbols come from filtering market movers and from subjective observations. Our software cross-references today's volume actives, percent gainers, and dollar gainers, which are filtered down to just lower price stocks. We then look at each stock's charts for apparent uptrends and news headlines for obvious one-day only events to exclude, like a buyout, or for longer-term growth-related news like financials, drill results, patent approvals, etc. to include. This is similar to how many traders look for new stocks as a starting point for further research with their financial and investment advisors. This is not an advisory service, and conflicts may exist as we sometimes take positions, or featured stocks may have bought online advertising or IR support services. Any content published by Investors Guru Small Cap Stock Observer is subject to the terms of our privacy policy and disclaimer at investorsguru.com. For our other small cap stock channels, follow Twitter's Guru Trader tweet in real time on your PC or mobile device at twitter.com/investorsguru. Subscribe to watch YouTube's Investors Guru video channel at youtube.com/investorsguru. Search Investors Guru at facebook.com and add us as a friend to see our videos, tweets, etc. that are all synced to post on our wall. It's free to sign up at investorsguru.com stock community for comprehensive quotes, newsletters, profiles, forums, etc., or to update your portfolio, watch list, alerts, and news by email preferences. Thanks for watching.